good question. Most often people think that a single mass notification solution is the optimal choice. And the reality is, as we look at our areas of concern, we have systems that notify primarily internally, we have systems that notify externally, and then we have systems that you might use for things like incident management. And there are very few vendors in the market that offer a turnkey solution that encompasses all of those solutions. So oftentimes we find that it's best for our customers to really evaluate, number one, their needs, and then looking across the market and the opportunities available to them from a product side, to try to look at those various vendors and get the best product that meets the overall needs. If they can find a single source vendor, that's great. But what they oftentimes want to do is make sure that those systems have various redundancy capabilities that aren't all embedded in one space. So meaning that if something completely goes down from your single source vendor, that they don't have, they're not left without notification options in a critical moment. Yeah, so it really, again, goes back to how you want to notify your people and what you're trying to notify them of and what types of events require the notification. So for example, if we have an active shooter situation or a fire in a facility, we tend to talk about this as a rock going through the surface of a pond. Where the rock goes through is going to be the smallest diameter of the ripple, but the largest intensity. And as that diameter of the ripple gets bigger and bigger over time, the intensity goes down and the criticality of the notification goes down. So when you think about this, in-building notification for something that deals with people within a facility, things like PA systems, IP speakers, IP telephony endpoints, strobe sirens, these are all items that you can turn on instantaneously and impact a more positive outcome in a shorter period of time. That's a really positive thing. If somebody's outside, not so helpful. So as we go beyond the building, things like SMS or mobile become a bit more important. The people that are beyond the perimeter of our facilities, they don't have the same level of criticality in regards to, or time sensitivity to these notifications. So those become good choices. And then when we think about mobile and SMS, SMS is a tool. The value of SMS is that everybody's mobile device can receive an SMS message. But it's not great when we think about doing things like geolocation, targeting the right people that are in the right area, so that way we're not creating unnecessary concern for folks that are beyond the area of the incident. So that's something to think about. The other common modality that is used in these types of notifications is an outbound call, right? Calling somebody and doing a pre-recorded or text-to-speech notification. When we think about situations that have a high level of anxiety, active shooter scenario, for example, I'm not going to probably stop and answer my phone call in the middle of that event. So these are all things that you should be thinking about as our customers and just in general start to evaluate these modalities, is that not every notification method or modality is right for every case. So making sure that you have all of them deployed is going to give you the best opportunity to serve the needs of your customers and students or whatever it might be that you're trying to notify. Absolutely, systems and methods should be integrated. When we talk about this to our customers, we talk about anything that can play, display, or do something should be integrated into your notification process. And the answer that's really simple. If you think about, we went back to fault tolerance a minute ago. If one system goes down, should we, we don't want to not send a notification to somebody because that process or that platform went down. So if we're integrating things like our IP telephony environments, our PA systems, IP speakers, digital displays, mobile devices, SMS, mass outbound dialing. Not only are we choosing all these modalities so we can make sure we're reaching the right people in the way they want to be communicated with, but we're also minimizing any level of concern that we may have one of these systems go out. And something that's more important than all of that is that we can guarantee that we're delivering the right message, the same message, regardless of what system we're delivering it from. That's a big problem oftentimes when folks don't integrate these systems, is that you may have, for example, a fire alarm that gets pulled that plays a noise. Then you have an internal system that activates, whether it be your PA systems or your telephony endpoints, it's playing a different message. And then you go out to mobile and that's yet a different message. So we tend to give our customers or our employees something that's not unified, it's not consistent, and therefore which one do they react upon? Which one do they believe is the trusted source of information that's going to get them out of harm's way? So integrating these systems allows you to make sure that you have a consistent notification, that we can have intelligibility across that notification, and that we can make sure that we can automate across all those processes to make sure that we're trimming down the amount of time from detection to actual delivery of notification to impact the outcome of the problem. Yeah, I think you'll hear a lot about single pane of glass, right? As you think about, or as customers are exploring these types of solutions, and absolutely everything should be integrated. This goes back to the previous comment, and you should be able to see that across one operational view. But again, if we have an in-building notification platform and that system were to go down, we should still be able to access the out-of-building notification capabilities, things like SMS, mass outbound dialing, and mobile, from a different secondary entry point, because we can still then leverage those tools to notify folks in various ways. So making sure that we've addressed the redundancy and resiliency, both in the modalities of these notifications, as well as the management and access and activation methodologies is very, very critical to success. That's a great question. So a little bit of background. So Synapse was acquired by Intrado, and prior to that acquisition, we were really focused on in-building notifications. So touching all of the things that were physical in your space, whether it be IP speakers, IP phones, desktop computers, mobile devices, all these things that can, again, play, display, or do something. And we leveraged other products in the market to be able to deliver the beyond the building pieces, and then also incident management. So our customers were going to one or two or sometimes three different manufacturers to provide these types of solutions. Post-acquisition, we've been working really hard to integrate all of the various systems that Intrado was selling previously, like our school messenger product, for example, which has over 70,000 educational institutions in North America leveraging the product. And that was typically focused on the out-of-building notification, SMS, mass outbound dialing, emails, these sorts of things. And then we have another product on the Intrado side, which is called Safety Shield, and that does the incident management pieces. So once an event happens, how are we getting the proper checklists in somebody's hands in an automated way, right? If you think about organizations, most of their incident response or business continuity plans, they're static plans. In education, it's often stuck to the back of a door or in a desk drawer that doesn't get updated very often. And so Safety Shield helps us solve that problem by automating this with electronic workflows, all the way to the opportunity for us to pull in first responders in a direct integration to the PSAP. And then you layer on top Revolution, which is the in-building component. This is the first end-to-end solution that touches everything from the initial detection of a problem all the way through the first responders coming on site, and even through reunification in education through our Safety Shield product. But what I've professed in the first couple of questions that were asked is that you need to have these separations concerns. So our school messenger product is in a set of data centers with different levels of redundancy and resiliency than our Safety Shield product, and Revolution is on premise. So you end up getting, even though you have a single vendor that's allowed that can provide this for you end to end, we're giving you these multiple touch points into our product portfolio that allow you to have that peace of mind, knowing that should you have a major disaster in your facility, you can still go to the other tools and activate the other pieces that are critical for you to respond and recover all the way through, in any kind of event. And so we believe that Intrado, with the addition of Synapse and our Revolution portfolio, is really the first end-to-end solution that can give our customers everything they need across that entire life cycle, what we call the safety spectrum.